You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices.
This broadcast was aired on Monday, January the 10th of 1927.
Do the edges of your rugs curl up? Did Johnny spill gravy on the carpet? Do you want inside information on turnips and hamburgers? Do you want to know what to cook for dinner today and how to cook it? Aunt Sammy will give you all this information. The recipes, both of them, have been tested and approved by the United States Bureau of Home Economics.
Do you remember the letter I read to you 2 or 3 weeks ago from a man who signed himself Grandma? He told us how he washes dishes under the running water from the hot water faucet, and how he helps with the housework and the cooking, and tries to make a good home for his youngsters on a moderate salary. I hope he is listening in today, because I have a letter written in response to his from a woman in Chicago. I'm going to read part of her letter. It contains a number of good suggestions for homemakers. Dear Aunt Sammy, she writes, I was much interested in the letter from Grandma read over the radio this afternoon. His way of dishwashing has been mine since I've been married, as we've lived in flats where hot water was furnished. But in addition to the hot water, I use a piece of steel wool, which can be obtained in any hardware store for the princely sum of 10 cents. A piece of steel wool has all the advantages of soap, and one more. It polishes everything beautifully and removes the incrustation so noticeable on glasses used in the bathroom. Of course, it is better to use soap on the steel wool when cleaning greasy pans. Another help in my house is a filing cabinet, 6 by 4 inches, with a cover and an alphabetical index for filing bills paid and receipts. It saves hours of hunting for a bill you know is paid. Gas and electric bills are put in the very front of the cabinet, so one never forgets what happened to them. I have a little blank book with a pencil fastened to it, wherein I jot down things I am likely to run short of. This book hangs right by the sink, and since most of my food preparation takes place on the sink drain board, it has a very central location. I also use a smaller filing cabinet for recipes cut from magazines, pasted on filing cards and filed alphabetically. In the front of this cabinet, I have 2 cards, one with a list of weights and measures, and the other with standard cake variations. My menu for the week, with the exception of perishable stuff, is bought each Tuesday. I tack the week's menu on the windowsill by the sink, so I know just what to have for dinner. My husband has complimented me on how good the meals are tasting lately. Tonight for dinner, I am having candied sweet potatoes, peas with cream sauce, tomato and lettuce salad, sliced pineapple and homemade cake, whole wheat bread and butter, milk and coffee. Please forgive me for writing such a long letter to you, but I do so enjoy your talks. I won't read the rest of the letter. 'Tisn't modest to read such compliments as that in public. I enjoyed this letter ever so much. Here's a real housekeeper, I thought to myself. She has a place for everything, and everything in its place. When she wants to check up a grocery bill which has been paid, she goes to the filing cabinet and finds the receipted bill. Her less methodical sister hunts madly through the house, opens glove boxes, peers on top of cupboards, and even looks inside the cracked water pitcher, on the trail of the receipted grocery bill. I like the Chicago listener's system of buying her groceries in large quantities and planning a week's menus at a time. Her dinner menu sounds good too. I must add just a word of caution, though, about using steel wool on dishes. It would take the design right off of many kinds. For aluminum pans, steel wool is one of the best of polishers. Here's another letter, also written in response to Grandma's communication. Dear Aunt Sammy, now that you have just signed off, I will say I enjoyed your talk very much, and must say there are several men that cook even better than women. My mother died when I was just a youngster of 5 years. There were 4 of us, the oldest one 9, and the youngest 18 months. My father worked on the farm and came in at meal time to prepare the meal, leaving the older brother to look after us. I never knew what a mother's home-cooked meal was. My father can go into the kitchen and set out as good a meal as any highly paid chef. After hearing these 2 letters, I shouldn't be surprised if Grandma writes again. It's good for us to find out how other people keep house and to learn more efficient ways of doing things. I will have just time enough to answer 3 questions now and give you a recipe and a menu. First question: are turnips important from a dietetic standpoint? Turnips are a rich source of vitamins, especially vitamin C. Only comparatively few of our common foods are known to contain this particular vitamin, and it seems to be rather easily affected by heat of cooking and aging of the food material. It is a good plan, therefore, to include quickly cooked turnips often in the winter menu. They are also rich in calcium, a mineral constantly needed by the body. Second question: please tell me how to make hamburger in large quantities. Grind lean beef such as the round, neck, flank, and trimmings and a little fat in a sausage grinder. If desired, put a small amount of bacon in for flavor. For seasoning, about 1 pound of salt and 4 ounces of pepper are sufficient for 50 pounds of meat. Perhaps you would be interested in Farmer's Bulletin number 1415, called Beef on the Farm: Slaughtering, Cutting, and Curing. Simple equipment and methods are illustrated in this bulletin, and each step in the process of converting live animals into meat is clearly explained. The bulletin is number 1415 and is sent free by the United States Department of Agriculture. Third question: can you tell me what to do with a small rug which wrinkles and curls up at the edges? I should also like to know how to clean grease spots from rugs. Your small rug wrinkles and curls up because the sizing on the back has worn off. Resizing will make the rug wear longer and look much better. Stretch the rug tight and true. Tack it, at frequent intervals, face down on a floor or some other flat surface where it can remain undisturbed. Then sprinkle it generously with a solution made by soaking and dissolving 1/4 pound of flake glue in a half gallon of water in a double boiler or a container surrounded by hot water. Let the rug dry for at least 24 hours after it is sprinkled with this solution. If your rug is lightweight, be careful not to put on so much glue that it penetrates to the right side. You ask how to remove grease stains from rugs. Sometimes part of the grease and dirt can be scraped off with a dull knife, and the rest scrubbed off with a soft brush and warm soap suds. Another method of removing grease spots is by absorbing the grease with 1 or more applications of Fuller's Earth, French chalk, or talcum powder, or by blotting paper and a warm iron. Or you might use a solvent such as carbon tetrachloride, gasoline, or benzol. The latter 2 are very inflammable and must not be used in the same room with an open fire or flame of any kind. Here's another helpful hint. A freshly spilled liquid should not be rubbed from a carpet or rug. This drives it into the fabric. If possible, cover the spot immediately with cornmeal, talcum powder, blotting paper torn into bits, or any other absorbent material which will soak up the liquid and prevent it spreading. If you want to know more about cleaning spots from rugs, send for the new Farmer's Bulletin number 1474, called Stain Removal from Fabrics: Home Methods. Today's menu is planned especially for a listener who lives in a small town in Iowa, where beef and pork are the only meats available in the local market, and the stores never carry fresh vegetables except for Thanksgiving and other special days. She lives in the land of onions and cabbage, and has lots of these vegetables on hand. The menu includes vegetables cooked with pork, sour pickles, rolls and butter, canned fruit, and orange drop cookies. For the vegetables cooked with pork, you will need 7 ingredients as follows: 1/2 pound lean pork, 1/2 cup chopped celery, 4 tablespoons butter, 1 quart of cabbage cut in strips, 2 tablespoons chopped onion, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 2 tablespoons chopped green pepper. Count the 7 ingredients while I read them again. 1/2 pound lean pork, 1/2 cup chopped celery, 4 tablespoons butter, 1 quart of cabbage cut in strips, 2 tablespoons chopped onion, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 2 tablespoons chopped green pepper. Chop the pork, brown it in the butter, add the chopped onion, green pepper, celery, and cabbage, and let them brown a little in the hot fat. Then add a small quantity of water and let the meat and vegetables simmer for about 15 minutes. The vegetables should then be tender, but still crisp and fresh looking. Season with salt and pepper and serve at once. We will let the sour pickles serve as salad this time. Since there are so many vegetables in the meat dish, we don't need a vegetable salad, and we can use our fruit for dessert instead of salad. The fruit part of the dessert may be canned plums, peaches, pears, or whatever you have. Here's the recipe for the orange drop cookies, and a very good one it is. 8 ingredients: 2 cups of flour, 1 cup sugar, 4 tablespoons butter, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 4 tablespoons orange juice, 2 eggs, 4 teaspoons baking powder, 2 tablespoons grated orange rind. I'll read them again. 2 cups of flour, 1 cup sugar, 4 tablespoons butter, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 4 tablespoons orange juice, 2 eggs, 4 teaspoons baking powder, 2 tablespoons grated orange rind. Cream together the grated rind of the orange and the butter. Gradually beat in the sugar, the beaten eggs, and the orange juice. Add the flour and baking powder, which have been mixed together. Drop the batter by teaspoonfuls onto a greased baking sheet or an inverted pan, and bake in a quick oven. To repeat the menu: vegetables cooked with pork, sour pickles, rolls and butter, canned fruit, and orange drop cookies. This menu and the recipes will be added to the radio cookbooks. By the way, you women ordered so many thousands of cookbooks before Christmas that the supply gave out. However, we had several thousand more printed last week, and these will soon be in the mail. Aunt Sammy's radio cookbook is popular enough to be listed among the 6 best sellers, isn't it?
This broadcast was researched and produced by BreakAway Empire LLC.